Hey guys, it's Adam. I want to take a moment and personally thank you for listening to our shows, for downloading our shows, and for sharing them with your friends. With your guys' support, we just moved the Twisted 10 into the threshold of the top 100 comedy shows in iTunes. It made it to number 99, granted, just barely crept in there. However, that's still monumental for us. Out of the tens of thousands of podcasts that are out there, that's one of the most difficult categories to breach into. Thank you very, very much for helping us to get there. If you haven't already done so, please go give us a 5-star rating and give us a review, a short little 1-line, 2-line review, letting us know that you enjoy the show. iTunes reviews are like podcast currency. It legitifies the show, it allows us to get better guests, and it allows our sponsors to really see that we're reaching the listeners that are out there. If you haven't done so yet, please go do it. We would greatly appreciate it. We've got a ton on the horizon from Dichotomy Media. Another podcast you're going to hear a little bit about during this episode. A lot more on our YouTube channel. More Get Out Penny cartoons. All sorts of stuff. So please help us by giving us that 5-star rating and a little review. Thank you very much and enjoy the show.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. All 3 engines up and burning. 2, 1, 0, and liftoff.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You're listening to the Twisted 10, bringing you original and unique, host-created top 10 list, recorded live in world-famous Cocoa Beach, Florida, with hosts Tach Van Sickle and Adam Poston.
Okay, and welcome to another... I can't think of a good word.
God damn it, Tech. You had one job.
I know. I can't. Okay, welcome to another... I'm just going to say episode of the Twisted 10.
This episode?
What's that?
A piss episode?
Piss episode. There we go.
Wow.
Welcome to another piss episode of the Twisted 10.
After this, can we have some Piscetti?
No. Okay. And my name is Tach, and I am not one of the hosts today, Adam.
Oh, neither am I. As a matter of fact, I am not a host this week either.
You're not?
No. So, again. It's supposed to be my week again, but no.
No, of course
we
not.
look to the Lady Chase.
And this is not my show.
Who are you?
Not Andrea Joy's show.
And so it must be Jay.
I am Jay Alvarez. I am also not hosting because apparently we've got another guest.
That's right.
Shocking, Adam. Another fucking guest.
I don't even know why we do this anymore. Why do we even show up?
I didn't set this one up, though. You can't blame me for this one.
This is true. These we do have some guest hosts, plural, our second time on the show where we actually have two guest hosts. And today we have the boys from Hysteria 51 podcast. We have Mr. Brent and John Goforth.
Yes. 2 guests, half the funny, so you're in luck.
You guys have a pretty unique podcast. This is Adam. You guys have a pretty unique podcast. So I listened to a couple of episodes. I listened to the entire episode of the most recent one, which is part 2 of what's the murderer?
Jack
the Ripper. Thank you.
Not to be confused with Jack Tripper.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, not to be confused. Come on, knock on my door.
That cracked me up when I heard that on the episode.
Or should he be confused with it?
So just tell a little bit of our listeners like what your show is all about.
Well, Hysteria 51, we take I'd say a skeptical look at the paranormal, the supernatural, the mysterious, and the unexplained. We're generally drinking during the show, and like you mentioned, Brent's a host, I'm a host, and the third host, who's not with us tonight, is a cranky robot that Brent built from old computer parts, car parts, named Conspiracy Bot, and he's bent on killing us, 1, world domination, 2, and putting out a good podcast, 3, probably in that order.
Nice.
Yeah. Peppered in with lots of drinking. Yeah. On his part.
You guys are ridiculously quick-witted. I was listening to the show, and I mean, there's a ton of comedy.
Thanks. I don't know what to say to that. Oh God.
I'm blushing.
Tach hosts another show called You're 40 Now What with a friend of ours named Ron, and he's about I guess Jay is too. He's pretty quick. The quick-wittedness that you guys have is really appreciated by guys like that can, well, maybe and girls too, I don't know, but that can come back with those funny puns that quick, and you guys are punny,
I appreciate
punny.
that. And you know what helps too? We've known each other for like 30 years. So I know all his jokes. I've heard them all. So I know what he's going to say. And it's not usually.
The other thing that helps, Editing. Lots and lots of editing.
Hey, remember that thing you said 3 days ago? I finally got a comeback. Can we record that and just edit it in?
Slip that one right in.
Oh, nice.
Hey, also, Brent, I don't know if anybody's told you this, but I've been noticing it since the very first episode I listened to. Are you aware that you're a voice twin to Kevin Smith?
No, I've never been told that.
Nobody's told you that?
No.
You sound
Oh my
just
God,
like Kevin
yes.
Smith.
I'm also
Absolutely
a fat
hear it.
bastard, so like maybe we were switched at birth or something. I don't know, or I got a twin out there. Yeah,
Twin separated at
You
birth.
have a voice twin of Kevin Smith. You sound just
That's a good
like
point.
him.
I didn't think about that until you said it.
Yeah.
Jesus, now I can't hear anything but that.
That's all I hear.
I want to hear you talk about Batman for a half hour now.
maybe I should call his bank. Yeah, I'd like to make a withdrawal if I can.
You totally could. I want you to do a voicemail for me on my phone.
If you guys say I sound like Jason Mewes, I am out of here.
All right. So for our listeners, if this is the first time you listen to the Twisted 10, what we do here is we create a top 10 list, a unique top 10 list. We don't steal it from the website, from any website anywhere. We create a unique top 10 list and we break it down. We put it into a Hot Pocket and then we heat it up for about 1:42 seconds.
I love
This isn't
Not
kinky
too-
yet, by the way.
I
No.
love tax
and
explanations.
then we take a bite of it, and then you run to the emergency room to treat for third-degree burns, and then we discuss it and we break it down, and then we purge it back up, and then eat it again, and then I don't know, I'm getting lost now.
It's close enough.
So then we break it down, we talk about the top 10 list, and we have a good time, and that's what we do here on the Twisted 10.
You got it. And occasionally guests.
Can you
come in and do
repeat
it.
that? I'm sorry.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So what we do here?
The Hot Pocket.
Tack, this is where those edit skills come in.
Oh yeah,
later.
that's right.
Copy
It's a good thing
paste.
we do that. Wink, wink.
Wait a second. Nobody said anything about homework here. What's going on?
That's one thing that we've noticed with some of our guest hosts. After they said, yeah, we would love to be a guest host of the Twisted 10, then they realized, of course, with your show, you guys know how much research goes into some of the topics you guys talk about, but some of our guest hosts didn't know that it's a lot of work to find 10 things in a particular category and then to expound on all of them. That's not an easy task.
Right?
Well, it's a very valid point, one that we're not terribly familiar with because we refuse to go past the first page of Google.
There's another page.
Well, and also our topic for this evening is going to be government conspiracies. And as you well know, it's hard to find 10 U.S. government conspiracies. I mean, they're on the up and up at all times. So we had to
They
do
don't do anything untoward.
We had to do a lot of internet sleuthing just to come up with 10 things that even anyone disagrees with the government, let alone conspiracies.
So what's the actual name of the list tonight?
The name of the list tonight, Top 10 Government-Related Conspiracies.
U.S. government or world governments throughout the world?
So the government is either purported to be or admittedly involved in each one of these.
But is this like any government, any country, or United
U.S.
States
government. Now, I'm not saying that other
If you
governments.
actually believe there's just one U.S. government.
Dun, dun, dun. There's the New World Order.
Long live the Lizard Kings.
Yes.
Do they have our notes, Brent? What's going on?
I've already ticked off like 3 of our items. I'm getting a little
So-
nervous.
We wrote these notes for you.
If you guys are ready to take it away, I'm going to hand over the metaphorical keys, and you guys can feel free to take it away.
All right, for number 10,
Number 10.
Numero 10.
we are going to start with. It was actually the topic of our very first episode. If you're going to listen to Hysteria 51, I would not try that one as your first one. Nonetheless, it was our first episode. Brent, tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, number 10 is Operation High Jump. So it was officially titled the United States Navy Antarctic Development Program 1946-1947. It rolls right off the tongue.
Yeah, no kidding.
It was a United States Navy operation organized by Rear Admiral Richard E. Byrd Jr. The operation began when Marines in full battle gear sent by the United States to Antarctica on what was described as a training mission. The expedition was filmed by the Navy and then brought back to Hollywood and made into a film called The Secret Land. So
Wasn't
many
that a sequel to Narnia?
Yeah, right. So many individuals questioned why an expedition to Antarctica was even going to take place at that time. Because if you remember, we had just gotten out of World War II and so much manpower and military equipment and money they were spending just to take people down there. So many believed Admiral Byrd was actually sent there to lead this operation to look for coal oil or even uranium, because at that time Antarctica was a completely untapped resource.
Well, and we had just used a little bit of our uranium on
enriched uranium.
Don't
church it up.
Yeah, just a little bit.
So that was actually called off much earlier than expected, and the unofficial sources claim that Byrd and his forces encountered heavy resistance when they got to Antarctica by flying saucers. Now, these aren't just any flying saucers.
Whoa.
These were flying saucers with swastikas.
Swastikas on the side.
And aliens piloting them.
Right.
Yeah, these are the Nazi flying saucers.
The Nordics, or no, I'm sorry, the Aryans. And they purportedly, he actually flew over Antarctica. Byrd himself in a plane went into the Middle Earth, because as we all know, kids, the Earth is hollow and it's inhabited by other beings who are these Aryans.
And the entrance to said hollow Earth is where? It's in Antarctica.
That's a given. Yes, we all know that.
Middle Earth is like where Gandalf lives, right?
Yeah, Gandalf and a whole bunch of Nazis.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
Now, trying to separate the paranormal aspect from the out there aspect, there really is a lot of speculation and maybe even some proof out there that we really were hunting Nazis in Antarctica.
Yeah, we did believe that they had a base there.
That they had put together a secret Nazi base, and kind of like you know how even into like the 70s they were finding like random Japanese soldiers in like bunkers and places.
What do
you mean the war's over?
Yes. Sounded just like that too.
Yes. Perfect accent.
I remember hearing something about like a cave that was captured on a photo in
so
Antarctica.
That cave supposedly is what Byrd himself flew into. And when he got in there, all of a sudden it was a tropical climate. This is what the conspiracy theorists say. He saw mammoths, like woolly mammoths and prehistoric beasts. And all of a sudden he lost control of his plane and he was taken over by Nazi flying saucers who flew him to their leader. And the leader said, "Hey, listen, we need you to work with us. We're going to help you out, but you got to do what we say." He was released, went back to the president, and the president was like, "Screw them. No dice. We want nothing to do with them. We'll take them over."
Oh, wow.
And that's how Scientology was born.
America.
America. Just saying.
The real strange part about this whole thing, taking speculation away, is that we set out to be there for a long period of time and turned around and hightailed it home in less than 2 weeks.
And there was casualties. And
lots and lots of deaths.
We had lost planes and other boats. So something went down, probably either that or we just hit some Titanic-style icebergs. And
or some government official somewhere was saying, all right, how do we make a story that's believable for all these people that have died in other ways that are worse than the story that we can come up with?
We really fucked up. What can we do here?
Yeah.
We have fornicated the canine. We have fornicated the canine.
Oh,
all right. So moving on to number 9.
number 9.
Numero nueve.
We've got the John F. Kennedy assassination.
Oh,
Ooh,
shit.
yeah.
About that, John.
Well, as most of your listeners, I'm sure know, November 22nd, 1963, John F. Kennedy was gunned down in Dallas, Dealey Plaza. Lee Harvey Oswald was arrested with a 6.5 millimeter Mannlicher Carcano.
Carcano.
I always mess that up.
Which actually, a lot of you guys don't know this. Mannlicher was John's nickname in college. So he's really into this story.
He's projecting. Anyway, he was arrested. It was a one-man show, according to the government. No conspiracy to be seen here. He's, of course, murdered a few days later by Jack Ruby.
Right after screaming, "I'm a patsy, I'm a patsy."
And
Yeah, of course.
who just happened to have access to the biggest villain in the known world at the time.
Who's surrounded by police.
All he is a bar owner, but he just happens to be in there. No problem. Shoots him in the gut. He's dead. Now, a few things. There are thoughts that maybe there wasn't just one gunman, and maybe it wasn't just Lee Harvey Oswald.
No.
Yes, it's true. It's true that
Pick your mouth up off the floor. It gets better.
the mafia might have been involved.
Yeah, the guy who shot him was a known mafia man.
The guy who shot Lee Harvey Oswald.
The guy who shot Lee Harvey Oswald, who had terminal cancer and died soon after. So what did he have to lose? And a lot of people said, well, it was a mafia hit. Also, there, before and after his death, a lot of people thought that Lee Harvey Oswald was a CIA operative. He was always in Russia. His wife was from Russia. He had dealings all over the world. The guy was out there.
When they found him, he had a badge on him that said CIA. No, I just made that part up.
Oh, you're adding to the story. Okay, I believe
That would
it.
have been a lot easier.
Yeah, a badge named CIA, fingerprints, everything on him. It was the case closed.
No, but the interesting thing about there's lots of interesting things about the assassination of JFK, but it's how many people in the world would have benefited from his death. That's why people find this so compelling, because the Russians really wanted him dead. The CIA really wanted him dead. LBJ really wanted him dead.
The mafia really wanted. Are you catching up on a theme here? Yeah. So, that's why there were so many shots. It was just it was a surprise. Like, oh, you shot him too? Oh shit! I didn't even know.
On the same day. That's crazy. Okay.
That's like at a firing squad. They arm like 9 guys, but they only load 1 bullet.
Yeah.
The rest of them are blanks.
And so nobody ever knows who really shot who.
Yep.
Well, that's literally how World War I started, when the Archduke
Franz Ferdinand.
Franz Ferdinand.
Yep.
There was about 10 members of the Black Hand. They were all supposed to kill him that day. They all failed because this bomb went off and it didn't kill him. He's walking out of a sandwich shop. One of the assassins is walking in to grab a sandwich and kind of, crying his proverbial Wheaties that he didn't get the job done. And there's the Archduke walking out of the sandwich shop. So he just shoots him right then and there, and here you go. You're in World War I.
That's a freebie. You guys didn't even know you're going to get that one.
Wow.
Bonus.
Wow, we get a bonus one. That's
You get 11 for your 10 money. Nice. All right, moving on to number 8, the cure for cancer.
cure for cancer. All right.
Go ahead, John. You're waving at me feverishly.
Oh, I didn't know if you guys wanted us to stop so you could say number 8.
Ocho.
He's like,
No, it's too late now. Just go.
Let them do
whatever.
their silly thing that they like to do.
I don't pay attention. That's going to become obvious to you all very
It
fast.
should be painfully clear already. All right, the cure for cancer. Basic premise being everything the government's ever done that you thought wasn't in your best interest, but it was rather in the best interest of large companies, in this case, big pharma, take it to the whole next level of lobbying. And that is, we could cure this and literally prevent millions of people from dying, but we're not going to because...
Money is in treating, not curing.
Correct.
Doctors, big pharma, as he said, hospitals, they make their money off of radiation and chemotherapy and things like that, which is true. And, we've seen other drugs like that, but everyone thinks, well, the U.S. government has that cure. That's why people in those positions never come down with cancer. Plus, you keep the population sick, you keep the population scared. That's the way you control a populace. So that's kind of the prevailing thought process in that one.
Wake up, sheeple.
That's ironic because all doctors, nurses, like aid workers, those things, they have to take the Hippocratic Oath, which is, just kind of a way to, say that they're going to do the things in the best interest of the person or their patient. However, you know who doesn't have to take the Hippocratic Oath? Investors in big pharma companies. So you know what? I'm hoping one of the twists on your guys' Twisted 10 is that that is an actual conspiracy that's real, and here's the proof. And we're going to blow up big pharma. No, I'm just kidding.
Might I also point out, Hippocratic Oath sounds a lot like the word hypocrite.
I don't see where you're going there, John. It doesn't work for me.
There's no connection. I don't understand.
These guys have such a good chemistry between the two of them. I swear to God. I fell in love with the two of them. Not like that, Andrea. I fell in love with them on their podcast.
He has. You should see the emails. It is ridiculous.
Yeah, I fell in love with them too, but not like you think. Like, I actually want to have sex with them.
Oh, yeah, well.
So.
Yeah, that's all right. No homo. Well, I guess that would be, that's what that is.
Very homo.
Look, the most I can offer is a snuggle. It would be awkward. It would absolutely be awkward, but it would be nonetheless snuggly.
Nice.
Plus, you know what? You look at Snake Plissken from Escape from New York. They make him sick. He does everything you want. Maybe it's just like this big thing where they find the most badass people in our populace and be like, "You want the cure for cancer? Go take this dude out." I mean, it just makes... I think of those movies as documentaries more than, anything else.
As long as Waterworld is not going to be a documentary, because as bad as that movie was, that doesn't leave us for a very optimistic future.
I hope there's no scenario where Kevin Costner is like our hope. So.
I'm hoping that there's never a scenario where I have to pee into a Mr. Coffee just to get drinking water.
Funny enough, going along with Waterworld, John actually has a map tattoo, but it's to Dunkin' Donuts on his back. So in Chicago, he's really sought after, but it's, I don't think he's in the apocalypse. He's going to work out.
Well, you've heard the term food desert, right? I mean... and for the record, you guys give me shit over making the connection between the Hippocratic Oath and hypocrite, and yet we're sitting here talking about Snake Plissken and Waterworld. I'm just saying, all right?
That's true.
And listen, we're nothing if not unpredictable.
There you go.
One of the funniest things I heard in your guys' show was in an intro to an episode is where you guys did the DuckTales theme song.
Chemtrails.
Yeah, I was like pissing my pants laughing so hard. I was like, holy shit.
And by the way, the check is in the mail. Thank you for foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Nice.
That brings us to what? Number 7?
Number 7.
All right. If I had my soundboard with me, I would play a clip here, but I don't. The Men in Black.
Yeah.
Ooh, Men in Black.
Insert.
Like it.
Yeah. So these are large-statured men wearing all black tailored suits who are cold and expressionless and seem to show up in 2 circumstances: to speak to those who claim to have witnessed a UFO and those who research UFOs. They represent themselves as being part of a secret organization, sometimes even having a white card with only the word security written on it, and that they give to the people they talk to. And they don't use names, but rather numbers when referring to one another, and use intimidation and threats to silence people. Who hasn't heard of the Men in Black? Thank you, Tommy Lee Jones.
That sounds like my senior English teacher.
No, let's not forget the fuchsia lipstick that they wear as well.
And the oddly human looking but not really masks. Like if you are let's pretend that they're not part of the government, they're some alien race who's traversed space and time or other dimensions to get here, and they show up but they just can't get down that whole makeup tutorial that they watched on YouTube on the way. Like that doesn't make any sense. Like they're here to strike fear, but they look like your sister at age 6 when she got in your mom's makeup.
Yeah, they're smart enough to tackle the mysteries of faster than light travel, but can't quite figure out blush.
No, Helga, your lips should be pink. No.
So there's a lot of examples throughout history, especially modern day history, of stories of the Men in Black. We'll just regale you with one. This is my favorite. You all know him. You all love him, Mr. Dan Aykroyd.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
Crystal Skull Vodka himself.
If you're not familiar, Dan Aykroyd is a huge conspiracy theorist. He's into the paranormal and the weird, and he was actually in, I think, around the 2007-ish, making a show for the History Channel, Sci-Fi Channel, one of those, and he was outside having a cigarette. And he looked across the street and he saw the classic black sedan, 2 guys in black suits, staring at him. And he knew that he had seen the Men in Black. But here's where the story gets weird. Ask me who he was on the phone with.
I know who he was on the phone with because I know the story, but I won't spoil it.
Who was
What do you mean spoil it? He's asking us.
Well,
If you know it, answer the question.
I mean,
it's like the SATs. I know the answer, but I'm not going to answer
it's pretty obvious.
Can I guess?
Yeah, yeah, guess.
It was Chevy Chase.
Oh
No, it was the scariest part of this story.
Yeah, I think it's fucking obvious.
Belushi.
No, it's Britney Spears.
Britney Spears.
Wait, what?
He just says a little nonchalant, like, yeah, I'm on the phone with Britney Spears talking about some SNL stuff, and I see this. It's like he just skims over that part. Like, what? I want to be a fly on the wall of the Dan Aykroyd Britney Spears conversation. I'm weird. No, I'm weird. Like, it doesn't.
Oh yeah.
I'm weirder because I'm Canadian. I'm weirder because I'm from Florida.
And Florida wins that one, just for the record. I'll break that down.
Yeah, hey, we live here.
I
so
know,
we,
that was for you guys.
We
That
know.
was for you guys. No, but to me, that is the weirdest part of the entire Men in Black story. Why was Dan Aykroyd on the phone for long periods of time with Britney Spears? Especially Britney Spears right around then. That was super crazy shaving my head time-ish.
Yeah.
Well, that's why.
Oh, yeah, driving infants in the front
Is
seat.
Britney Spears an alien?
I mean, that's a given. I don't think that's...
Yeah, we didn't even...
That would make sense why he was talking to her.
It would explain how she's from Longwood.
Yes. And
makes
why
sense
he felt
like
Men in
why
Black.
people even listen to her. It's all probably hidden propaganda in the music.
If you play a Britney Spears record backwards, it gives you the coordinates to Zeta Reticuli.
Yeah. All right, number 6.
Number
Six.
All right, number 6 is a somewhat controversial one, but we will give you the facts and the conspiracy behind it. 9/11. On
Yeah, exactly.
on
Groaner.
Steel doesn't melt. No.
No, we are not. For the record, well, we haven't gotten to the twist yet, but we are not. We're just going through and telling you the facts. On Tuesday, September 11th, 2001, Al-Qaeda executed a plan in which they hijacked 4 passenger airplanes in order to crash 2 of them into the World Trade Center's Twin Towers, 1 into the Pentagon, and 1 into either the Capitol building or the White House. The first 3 succeeded. The 4th crashed near Shanksville, Pennsylvania. The death toll has been established at 2,996 people, including the 19 hijackers, making it the worst terrorist attack in United States history.
Just in case you didn't know all that.
Yeah. I mean,
I thought it sounded familiar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But besides the unspeakable horror, the plan also unleashed a plethora of 9/11 conspiracy theories. The 9/11 conspiracy theorists, known collectively as truthers, make varying assertions, including the claims that the attacks were condoned by the U.S. government, or that they even, as a false flag operation, did them themselves. Also, that they could have been a pretext for launching a war on terror. There's also an anti-Semitic slant to it, that Israel did it, and it was actually a masterminded by an international Jewish conspiracy.
I had not heard that one before.
Yeah, and
Those rabbis get down, son.
and then of course
You name any conspiracy, someone out there is going, the Jews did it.
Yeah,
it doesn't
that's true.
matter.
That's a good point.
It doesn't matter. Where's my taco? The Jews did it. Like people are.
we'll find a reason
any
for
reason to be
anti-Semitic.
anti-Semitic.
Yeah. And then last but not least, the good old fashioned, it was to bring on the New World Order or the Illuminati.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're saying Beyonce is behind the World Trade Center?
No, that's what we were getting at. I didn't know if we were made that evident or not.
man,
so good job picking it up.
Yeah, well done.
I see what's going on here. I hear it.
It's confirmed now.
Yeah, it's not the New World Order. It's NWA. That was who was setting up. Not NWO, NWA.
No, see, that's how you know NWA. That's how you knew. That's why Eazy-E got AIDS, because they had to take him out.
It was step 1 in the plan. Like
Where were you on 9/11?
step
Jay?
1, take out Eazy-E.
You want to know where I was 9/11? Really? No, I was joining the Navy.
I was in the
Yeah,
Navy.
remember, we
I
heard
was
that-
in the Navy during 9/11.
We heard the story. He joined the day before 9/11.
No,
or day
I was,
after.
I was there on 9/11. I was getting my blood drawn. I was getting ready to sign my contract for the United States
No
Navy.
shit.
But you went
As
in the Army. What
I was in the Army, exactly, because I took the planes flying into the buildings as a fucking sign not to join the military that day. Like, no, I'm sitting there getting my blood drawn, and then some guy runs in and yells, "Holy shit, turn on the TV." And we got the TV on just in time to see the second plane hit.
Wow.
And I pulled the needle out of my arm and said, "I'm not signing shit."
Did you ever see the Futurama where they're standing in line to get their military ID cards and they're going to quit right away? They're like, is there any catch? They're like, the only way there'd be a catch if war were declared. And they sign and the alarm goes off. He's like, what was that? War were declared. It's like, that's exactly what happened to you. That's terrible.
Yep, that's literally what happened.
What a hell of a first day.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
First day on the job, the terrorists won.
All right, fellas, that's our top 6.
All right.
Okay.
So what we will do now is we will take a quick 5-minute break. And when we come back, do you have a little teaser for us for after the break?
Yeah,
we
well,
do.
when we come back, I think we already teased it. You guys already teased it a little bit. There might be lizards involved.
Oh, Jay does like to tease.
There might even be
These little
pizza
tease.
involved.
Oh, well, now you're really teasing me.
I'm going to get my Mothra t-shirt ready for this one.
Nice.
All right. So we're going to take a break and we will be right back.
Yeah, check it.
Village Idiot Pub. You locals know about it. You guys from out of town have to check them out.
Village Idiot Pub is now a proud sponsor with Living Podcariously and the Twisted 10 podcasts.
It's more than just about commercials, though. The cast here will be taking our show on the road to Village Idiot to record some episodes as well as hold events. They have over 30 beers on tap, including ciders and Hefeweizen, my favorite, as well as hundreds of bottle choices.
Adam, you forgot my favorite, all the delicious wine. So get your friends together and enjoy the board games, puzzles, and the giant Jenga.
Let the owner, Jason, as well as the rest of the staff there, take excellent care of your beer drinking needs.
Mention either one of our shows to the staff and get 10% off your tab.
Tuesday is open mic, Wednesday is trivia, Thursday is karaoke, Friday and Saturday night are live music.
Visit them at 4 Harrison Street, Suite 103, Cocoa, Florida, or Village Idiot Pub on Facebook. And don't forget, they are a dog-friendly location, so bring your friends, family, and fur babies.
Hey, it's Adam. If you enjoy the hosts or the content of the Twisted 10, be sure to check out our other show. It's called Living Podcariously. While the Twisted 10 may get crass and explicit occasionally, it holds no water to Living Podcariously. We do get a little bit more rough and raw on that show. We have a lot of fun producing it and have had some awesome guests. And as always, thanks for listening.
Okay, we have 45 seconds before the anesthesia wears off, so we have to make this quick.
That's not very good anesthesia.
Focus, now. Remember why we're here.
Honestly, no. Sandwiches?
Soon. Look, we're here to tell the Twisted 10 listeners about our show, the Conversation Hat Podcast, in which a hat tells us to talk about geek culture, the arts and the abstract, features guests from the creative industries along with original sketches and music.
Oh yeah. I guess we'd mentioned that the Conversation Hat is available on iTunes, SoundCloud, and on StabbedPanda.com, right?
I really wish we'd scripted this before breaking in.
Liam, they're starting to wake up.
Oh, darn, there's no time. Come on, through the window.
We forgot the sandwiches.
Hey guys, it's Adam again. With all the podcasts you have the ability to listen to, we here at the Twisted 10, Living Podcariously, Your 40 Now What, would like to thank you for choosing our shows. We love to have fun and put our creative talents to work, delivering you, our listeners, something original and entertaining. I recently had the opportunity to guest on a riot of a podcast called Trivia Geeks from the Blazing Caribou Studios network. This isn't your normal trivia podcast or game show for that matter. Imran Javed hosts this hilarious rendition of bar-like trivia without the trivia, foolishness, and downright insanity each week with two co-hosts, Carrie Sims and Drew Papsky. Together, they bring on a myriad of podcasters like myself and entertain us for the hour. The show has an explicit tag, and no one on that show is afraid to use it. Please go check out my new hilarious friends over at Trivia Geeks at blazingcariboustudios.com or anywhere you find your podcast. Just search Trivia Geeks. Thanks for listening.
And welcome back to the Twisted 10.
Ooh, this one, I'm going to have to play some music like, what is it, from X-Files.
X-Files music?
Yeah.
Jay's got it. Yeah. So we are here with Brent and John, and we're going through, we just went through our first 10 through 6. If you want to recap just the titles of the 10 through 6 for us.
Absolutely. So we started out with number 10 was Operation High Jump. Then we had number 9, John F. Kennedy assassination. Number 8 was The Cure for Cancer. 7 was Men in Black. And number 6 was the oh-so-popular 9/11 that got a groan from everyone.
Oh, yeah.
Including
awesome.
us.
So that brings us to number 5. Take it away, sir.
All right.
Sirs.
So number 5.
Number 5.
So we've got UFO cover-ups. That's kind of a blanket statement. So going from Roswell to Aurora, Texas, to the battle for LA, the U.S. government, as well as governments around the world, see this one, we're broadening our horizons, not only know about aliens and their agenda, but either conspire with them or are fighting against them, people say, all while keeping it secret from the general population.
Just depends on which ufologist you ask and what book they read that week.
And if you are a ufologist that believes in, let's make up one here, the Aurora incident, but you don't believe in Roswell, the people that believe in Roswell are complete idiots, and you're the only one who's smart. It is an interesting vibe to dig into the psyche.
Shit, I feel like that every day of my life.
Well, I feel like everyone other than me is an idiot, so I get where they're coming from. But yeah, it's on a different level, I guess.
You guys can probably tell how much fun doing our podcast is on a week in and week out.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So people, they think they want to know why. Like, are we doing it because they're giving us technology, or are they stealing humans and we have no control over it, or are we doing it in reverse engineering? Who was the guy that was reverse engineering stuff at Area 51?
Bob Lazar.
Bob Lazar.
Yeah, Bob Lazar. Bob Lazar. Ding, 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 ding. Yeah.
Not related to the law offices of Bob Blah Blah.
Bob blah blah.
Blah blah blah.
Bob Blah Blah.
Gotta love anytime you can put Scott Baio in a show, you do it.
We should.
Yes. Yes.
I want him in charge of me, so.
Look, he did endorse Trump, and Trump did win. I'm just saying.
True.
That's a good point.
Wow, Scott Baio is more powerful than I thought, I think.
Scott Baio is more powerful than Chuck Norris.
Oh, and this is also a bad
Wait a
time to
minute.
bring that up, too, because Joni just died.
Oh,
That
she
is
did-
true.
Yeah.
There's another conspiracy for you, number 12.
I was about to call it the Baio bump, but that's not near as funny now that you said that.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm digging it.
A specific story around the UFOs is Bob Lazar. We did an entire 2 episodes on this, so we won't bore you with all the details. But basically, this guy says, "Yeah, I worked for the U.S. government, actually just south of Area 51, at an even more secret area."
The secret area of the secret area called S4.
S4, and we had plenty of UFOs there. They were we were reverse engineering them. I brought my friends out to watch them test drive them at night, and he was just he's this,
And they fired me because of it.
Those bastards.
and he's just the most normal guy to listen to. He's a physicist, and he talks like one. He doesn't come off as some sort of tinfoil hat wearing nut job.
He's a physicist allegedly, because anyone who tries to look into his past, they can't find any records or anything. And he says, "Oh, that's because they scrubbed me. They deleted my entire past." So
Yeah.
And
take that with a grain of salt.
And there's like at least one yearbook where he actually was in the yearbook. Was it MIT?
No, it was the phone book, and it was at Los Alamos Jet Propulsion Lab or whatever. So,
Okay, me and facts don't get along.
and then
but you
people are like,
understand
"Oh yeah, because he was the janitor." So
Nice.
The interesting thing about that, if you want to learn more, I mean, just Google Bob Lazar and you'll be amazed. But the interesting thing about it is how much government might have been involved in that whole thing. I mean, because they would have had to have been for everything he said to have been true, just from how they changed around his background and how they got rid of his records and how no one can find. There's a department that he said he worked for and had a tax stub from that, according to the U.S. government, doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So there is some really interesting
aspects to
to the story. Yeah.
that brings us to number 4.
Number 4.
Cuatro.
Number 4.
Might be our favorite. It's definitely top 10.
Yeah.
Nice. I see what you did there.
Oh, you guys.
That's funny.
Nobody's
Guys.
ever made that joke on this show, I'm sure. All right. Reptilians.
Oh, nice.
All right. So reptilians, also known as lizard people, saurians, draconians, reptiloids, or even reptoids. Well, check that. You're not supposed to call them reptoids because they consider that a slur.
That's their word.
Yeah, never to their face.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
But they refuse. So, as they refuse to, reveal themselves to us, I suppose we don't know for sure. They are a reptile-like humanoid organism from space and or another dimension.
What dimension is that?
The lower
The
fourth
lower fourth dimension.
Oh, I thought it was the upper 6th.
In
But
case
okay,
you're
yeah,
playing
you're right.
along at home,
Yeah,
lower
no.
fourth.
Lower.
You nerds lost me on that one. I don't know what that meant.
They are.
What is lower?
I was told there'd be no math.
Exactly.
Regardless of where they're from, they are hell bent on taking over this world and or this dimension. They're known for feeding on angry emotions and or children's blood and or children's tears / negative energy as they rape them.
Oh my God.
So they established themselves as Krampus and manifested themselves as Trump.
And guys, I really wish I was kidding about that. I'm not. Reptilians are pederasses. They really are. Like every description of them, that's what they do. And
then they rape the children and eat their tears.
That's disgusting.
That took a turn I wasn't expecting.
That is the best dead baby joke.
So we do all these stories on our show, and every week we're like, all right, we're gonna research something, and you would not believe the amount of stories that turn into pedophile stories. You're like, what the hell does this have to do with?
It's like the whole.
Wow.
I hope I'm not spoiling anything and anything you have coming up, but it sounds a little bit like the whole Larry King conspiracy as well.
Oh, I'm not even familiar with that.
I don't know what that is.
Okay,
either.
not the Larry King you're thinking of.
Oh,
It's a different Larry King.
Oh, no. Maybe it's
Holy
a future
crap.
topic for Hysteria 51.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I recommend that for you guys. Do Larry King. Look.
you want to
into
give us
it.
a teaser on what is that? Because I'm curious now.
It's hard to explain. Larry King was I can't remember what he actually did. Like maybe like he ran hotels or something. I forget what he was, but he had this huge conspiracy against him where he ran like these pagan rituals and ran like these underground secret
As you
meetings.
do, you got to make ends meet.
Yeah. Where there was like pedophilia going on, there was like murder going on of children, there was rape and all kinds of crap, and there was huge figureheads that were attend these parties. You know, a lot like Eyes Wide Shut kind of stuff, but
Damn
you know,
it, you
with
beat me
children.
to it.
You know, with children, and but there was like high figures. They were saying like the Bushes were there. Ronald Reagan attended these. A lot of high profile politicians and figureheads would attend these things.
So, you're as Brent was saying before, these types of stories just keep popping up. One of the remaining few we have on the list sounds very similar to that, and we'll get to it in a moment. To finish up on reptilians, you probably want to know where they live. They
God knows I do, John.
They might live under us in the Earth's crust, but they also might live in the moon, which might or might not also be hollow, and which might or might not also be their spaceship.
So Earth is hollow, the moon is hollow. Got
Correct.
you.
Which is why the moon looks so big every now and then. They're shuttling back and forth.
But I thought it was
Yeah.
made of
Correct.
cheese.
But that also could be because the Earth is flat and it's actually not that far away. So
Yeah. The turtle that we're perched on is leaning and it moves the flat Earth a little bit. You know, you've seen the pictures.
Yeah, of course. Obviously. As depicted in most professional maps.
Yes. Real maps. Real maps.
yes.
Real maps are flat, therefore the Earth is flat.
That's a given, yes.
Have you guys, so on a serious note, so Tach and I both work at Kennedy Space Center for contracts out there at NASA. Have you guys ever met, because I haven't personally, but have you ever met an actual flat Earth theorist?
Yes,
before?
and we we lost some fans over it because we were joking about it on our
Facebook
discussion page, yeah. And they did not like it and did not want to discuss it in like now I don't mean face to face, but we've talked to them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it blew my mind. Like, well, let's talk about it. No, you're an idiot, you sheeple, bah, you know, and like,
Wow, really?
yeah. And we've talked about, we want to do an episode on it to have them on, but I just thought it was going to degrade into an argument kind of thing, you know? So
And
do you guys say, listen, this is where I work? Like, you're an idiot?
Yeah, well, so I've never...
Technically, I work at SpaceX and he works for NASA. So.
Yeah, but we're both out at the Space Center. I've never run into, and I've begged, because I'd love a good debate, especially when the cards are stacked against the other person in
We
such a
already
strong
ruined it
fashion.
because you said a good debate. So,
Well, yeah, I guess that's a good point. I guess that's a good point. I like a debate that I can.
Entertaining debate.
I like a debate I can win immediately. And I've never met a flat Earth theorist.
I
ever.
know, I want to.
to so bad.
Me too. Yeah. Let's get one
I
on
know
the
what
show.
to get you for your birthday.
Yay!
don't you guys wish I'd have been like, actually, John is a flat earther?
That would be so awesome.
Oh, I would have made this so much more fun. I'm just saying.
What if it's a stripper who is a flat Earth
She
theorist?
can say whatever she wants. I
she's
mean,
fine. It's
Is that the
Well,
best
yeah,
birthday
you know what?
present?
They're right. It doesn't matter at that point.
Totally. Yeah.
At that point, she's a stripper. Who cares about her opinion?
Unless,
Well,
unless it's a.
sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No. Go ahead.
I was going to say flat and stripper don't really go together for me, so I'm out.
Yeah,
That's also very
that's what I was
true.
gonna say. Unless it's a flat stripper that's a flat Earth theorist, then it's a lose-lose.
See, I just talk over you and I can get the joke out faster. That's how it works.
Spot on.
It is technically your show.
It is your show, yeah.
That's literally what happens every week to me. It's amazing.
So moving on, we've got number 3.
Wait, no. Hold on. I am not done. I got to finish my reptilian.
Got more pederast stuff. Keep going.
You just have to remember that where they came from. They might or might not be the living descendants of dinosaurs. Just like, kind of like we're the living descendants of monkeys. They could be aliens. They could be the interdimensional travelers. They could be the spawn of an ancient lizard-like god people known as the Anunnaki. And I
Yes.
suppose they could be a mixture of all of the above.
I've occasionally heard about Nibiru tying into lizard people too.
Plan X, yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's their home world, and they went into the ground, and they're going back home when Nibiru comes back this way,
Yep.
which is happening in October of this year. So set your calendars.
I always thought that Dennis Hopper being in the Super Mario Brothers movie was pretty prophetic.
You mean
Muster the Goombas!
you mean the Super Mario Brothers documentary? I think is what
Yes, exactly. Exactly. It's only a movie if you drink the Kool-Aid.
that's right.
So, just in case you want to look out for the lizard people, you need to remember a few things. They could be shapeshifters, but they also might control their appearance by using high-frequency vibrations to project holograms of human form from their liquid crystal skulls.
Which means the Flash is a reptilian.
That's exactly right.
Yep. And last but not least, they might just be wearing good old-fashioned skin suits, like, I think the TV show V.
It puts the lotion on the
Right,
skin. That kind of wrong skin suit. Gotcha. Yeah.
The best skin suit ever was in Men in Black, ironically. Edgar's skin suit at the beginning
that was
of the movie.
great.
Yes.
But wear the correct shade of lipstick, though, please. It's creepy otherwise.
Moving on from reptilians, let's hit number 3.
Number 3.
Tres.
This one actually we touched on earlier a little bit. The New World Order. It's a secretive power elite with a globalist agenda and is conspiring to eventually rule the world through an authoritarian. I don't know that word. I can't speak right now.
Words are hard. Words are hard.
Authoritarian world government, which will replace sovereign nation states and all-encompassing propaganda whose ideology hails the establishment of said New World Order as the culmination of history's progress. What's that mean? They want to rule everything. I think we should just wrote that, John. That makes a little bit more sense.
So New World Order is Kim Jong-un?
Yeah.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
I really thought that pizza rolls were the culmination of history's progress. I thought we were done after that.
Yeah, right.
Ranch blasted pizza rolls. That's it. We're done.
When you really dig into the history and the mystery of the NWO, you find that Macho Man Randy Savage, Hulk Hogan, these are the figureheads, and then you've got
They were too sweet.
yeah.
God damn it.
We were all holding back from doing that. you
Yep,
know.
every one of us.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, that's the
Snap
best
into a
one.
reptilian.
Eric Bischoff was their leader.
Yeah. So everyone knows that, the government's just a figurehead and Trump's just a puppet for the New World Order. And, no one really dies when they're in parts of power. They just go to Area 51 and get their brains uploaded to the neural net.
Mainframe.
Yeah,
The
right.
hive mind.
God.
And that's all true. No.
There are about 30 different ways the New World Order can go, depending on what book you read. And the fun part about New World Order is it oftentimes ties into many of the other conspiracies. It's kind of an all-encompassing conspiracy. The New World Order is run by reptilians. The New World Order was responsible for 9/11. The New World Order had JFK killed. The New World Order has already met aliens. I mean, it ties into all of them.
That's right. And as we're saying that there's an ambulance driving by, that's
I thought I heard something.
We were wondering what that was.
I grabbed my
I thought
head-
maybe it was the lizard people.
Yeah, I grabbed my headphone and I'm like, oh shit, is that a ghost?
It's not October yet. We're okay.
it's the man keeping us down.
I know. I'm concerned about this now. All of our safety.
Hey, Adam, did you notice there's a white car that says security out front?
That's a good point. And two guys in black suits are walking up, and it's night, and they've got sunglasses. It's really weird.
Is that Britney Spears?
Nah.
His lipstick is impeccable.
It looks fantastic.
They've really mastered the rouge.
They got it down.
All right, moving on to number 2.
Number 2.
Number 2 exhausts me. We alluded to it earlier. You've all heard the term, it's Pizzagate.
Those fun pedophilia stories. Here's another one.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
Settle in by the fire, kids. We got another pedophilia story.
Pizzagate started during the 2016 United States presidential election cycle by a Twitter user described as a white supremacist, and it was then spread on by 4chan users, and then on Reddit on the _Donald forum.
The subreddit thereof.
Yeah. It alleged that high-level politicians like the Clintons, as well as their campaign chair, John Podesta, were involved in a secretive child abuse and trafficking ring after Podesta mentioned Comet Ping Pong in his emails released by WikiLeaks. Theorists decided that the restaurant was being used as a front for the trafficking operation. Some of the purported quote-unquote evidence of this conspiracy included a mural on the wall at Comic Ping Pong featuring some weird imagery, and the idea that words like cheese and sauce used out of context in Podesta's emails were actually code word for politicians trying to conceal said abuse. The thing goes deep and wide, and
I like when you talk like that.
Deep and wide.
But you mentioned
wrong topic for that.
Oh, sorry.
You mentioned the Larry King thing earlier, and some of these weird events that people reportedly go to. Supposedly Podesta and his brother, who has a bunch of weird art. Now, this is actually true. They've shown pictures of it. He's got some weird art with like children tied up and stuff like that. Be
nice. He might be the next Hitler.
Yeah. But the Podesta and the other went to these things called spirit cooking exhibitions,
allegedly.
But they actually do go on at rich people's homes. This lady has a website, how she does it, and it's a large cooking exposition inside someone's home. Only they cook with a lot of body fluids, not of like dead people or anything, but I guess were donated. I won't go into what various fluids. Use your imagination.
I will. So no.
Get it.
The problem with this story is, as sick as it sounds, and everyone knows like that guy went into the Comet Ping Pong and shot it up, and then he's like, oops, there's not even a basement here for me to look for little kids in. The problem is this stuff really does go on, and that's scary to say the least. And in fact, it was like in the 80s, a bunch of politicians in England were having like sex trafficking ring with children. So it's not an unheard of thing.
They got busted and went to jail.
And then when this came out, people are like, oh, the Clintons, I knew it.
Humanity disappoints me. It's almost as if we're a Paula Abdul song. 1 step forward, 2 steps back. I'm just saying.
That's right. You tell it, MC Scat Cat.
That's right. That's right.
Who actually died of feline AIDS.
Oh, that is sad.
As long as we're being the downer of your whole show, let's just keep it. And the next one, pedophilia.
How many H references can we fit in this episode?
And
that was my first
three more.
The worst part is that the downer wasn't pedophilia. It was about the AIDS.
Yeah, that was the line.
Yeah,
nothing to do with pedophilia. It's just AIDS. Feline AIDS. That was what really drew the line. Well, and fuck those little kids. Save the kitties.
Yeah. There's our new T-shirt idea, John. No.
Nice.
In every episode, we flirt with where the line is, but normally we get in well past it about 5 minutes in. So kudos to you.
Yeah.
That brings us to number 1.
One.
Chemtrails. Ooh.
Oh, God. Yes, I love that.
So as you see,
God damn it.
That was the DuckTales parody song.
So it was chemtrails.
Well, the way they did it was just funny.
No, what I love, before you even get into this, because we just had an air show here a couple of weeks ago, and the airport is right by my day job. And I actually had someone try to convince me that air shows are just an excuse for the government to concentrate a bunch of chemtrail chemicals
Oh my god.
over a specific area, and that's why the air shows travel around.
You guys
and
work
around.
for SpaceX and NASA, so we're talking to the enemy right now. You're like, oh, chemtrails, I don't know what they're talking about.
I'm going to have to redact about 30% of this podcast tonight. No, I'm just kidding.
No, you're right though. Whenever a certain town is starting to get a little uppity and a little too big for their britches,
Send them the air show.
let's have an air show.
Send in the blue. That's what they are. No, and these are military pilots. Like send in the Thundercats and the Blue Angels. They'll make quick work of them. Or however other way lizards laugh. I don't know.
You don't know how lizards laugh. Okay.
I thought that was a Thundercat laugh. Like Lion-O or somebody.
So I love the fact that these chemtrails, it actually stems from an actual United States Air Force wrote up an article or a booklet in 1996, and it was called, and you got to get a kick out of the name, Weather as a Force Multiplier, Owning the Weather in 2025. That was the title that kind of set off this mass hysteria of chemtrails. That is an ominous title.
Yeah.
That's like the too long didn't read Cliff Note synopsis. What's this about? Just read the title.
Yeah, you get it. But you know what? A lot of people have bought into this, and a lot of famous people. Prince was a chemtrail guy. Chuck Norris was Alex Jones, of course, or at least the character that Alex Jones is portraying is a chemtrail dragon. And actually, they did cloud seeding years ago, to try to help with snow and rain and stuff like that.
Like HARP and all that.
Yeah, that's how we got Hurricane Andrew.
And you can't really blame people for not trusting the government when you look back at those videos from like the 50s where they're like DDT, your friend, and they show the children like playing in the big sprayers, like bring your children out, have them love DDT, and then you're like 2 months later, oh, by the way, they gave you all cancer. We're sorry about that.
Or better yet, in case of nuclear explosion, get under your desk. It'll be fine.
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, you'll be safe. Or the one turning point for conspiracy theorists to say, haha, gotcha, was the Tuskegee Airmen. That has to be one of the worst conspiracies that turned out to be true that our federal government really did do.
Experiment on them. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, ridiculous.
But I mean, it wasn't even that good of a conspiracy, meaning it wasn't not known for long. There was lots of people found out about it pretty soon thereafter. Now, a lot of it didn't get reported as widely because there was a lot of racists running around.
Right.
Yeah, that's our country was that way. And when was it? The late 40s, early 50s?
It wasn't a conspiracy because it's not that no one talked about it because of a conspiracy. No one talked about it because no one gave a shit.
Oh, I guess
that's the point. They didn't even tell people not to talk about it. They were just like, yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it. And that's what's the disgusting part. But yeah. The problem is with these chemtrails, though, it's like people are also, well, they're doing it to manipulate the weather. No, they're doing it to make you sick. No, people even say like it makes you turn homosexual or makes you docile or makes you violent. Like it's all over the place.
Or they're doing it to control your cat.
Yeah.
Get it? Prince did the song Pussy Control.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Ooh.
That was a bit of a reach.
Now it makes sense.
That was a good segue into
fuck the kid, save the kitty.
I like to call that a callback. I'm taking comedy lessons, and they're supposed to do those.
All right, kids. So that's our list. Here is the kicker. What a twist! Here's the twist to it. One of those, the government has actually came out and said is true.
One of these are true?
One of them, the government has said, you're right, it was a conspiracy.
Can you guys do us a favor and recap the titles of 10 through 1, if you don't mind?
John, you know what? I did that last time. I'll let you.
Love to. Number 10.
Delegate. I got upper management written all over me. I delegate.
Take credit for all the good stuff. You're right, you do. All right. Number 10, Operation High Jump. Number 9, the John F. Kennedy assassination. Number 8, the cure for cancer. Number 7, Men in Black. Number 6, 9/11. Number 5, UFO cover-ups. Number 4, reptilians. Number 3, the New World Order. Number 2, hashtag Pizzagate. And number 1, chemtrails. Woo!
Damn. All right, let's go around the room and see which ones we think. I'll start on this one, Tach.
Sure, go ahead.
Several of those have ties to possibly having some truth behind them, as far as I can tell. But
That's what makes it a conspiracy.
that extra building falling in New York, that extra World Trade Center number 7 or whatever the fuck that number was way off to the side. I'm just saying that seems really unlikely. So I'm gonna go with chemtrails, Tach.
I'm going to go with reptilians.
Ooh,
You think-
you're good.
You think that reptilians is true?
Yes.
And the government owned up to it?
It's a
Yes.
creationist conspiracy.
She's watching CNN right now. Guys, turn it on.
Yeah, she thinks that because she knows what I can do with my tongue. So
okay.
We took it there.
we took it there. We went there.
Oh, that's fun.
I want to say high jump.
Ooh, okay. All right, Tach.
All right. I was actually going to go with high jump as well. So
Are any of us right?
No.
Not a single one of you.
Really? Are you sure I'm not right?
Well, I guess we should say, as they are conspiracies, we can neither prove nor disprove the
Neither
other
confirm
9.
nor deny.
yeah, it's Pizzagate, wasn't it?
Luckily, my cats are great at killing lizards, though, so we've got our first row of defense.
Okay, good.
The actual
Go ahead.
truth, the JFK conspiracy.
That's right.
What?
In 1978, it was 1978, 1979, the House Select Committee on Assassinations, that's a real thing, or at least
The
it was,
HSCA.
re-examined the evidence with the help of forensic panel. The HCSA involved congressional hearings and ultimately concluded that Oswald assassinated Kennedy, probably as the result of a conspiracy. The HSCA concluded that Oswald fired shots number 1, 2, and 4, and that an unknown assassin fired shot number 3, but missed from near the corner of a picket fence that was above and to the left of President Kennedy's.
The looker from the grassy knoll.
Grassy knoll, right. On Dealey Plaza. However, the conclusion has also been criticized, especially for its reliance upon disputed acoustic evidence.
So they said they think there was more than one shooter, but they still doubled down on
Oswald
being it. And in fact, that wasn't the only assassination. They also said that MLK was a cover-up.
Yeah,
and that
in
was
the same report. They said MLK was also a conspiracy.
And the fact that I don't ever remember being taught that in school blows my mind.
Well, I mean, the government came out and said, yeah, it was.
Yep.
And now we did an episode on JFK, and we have obviously different opinions surrounding the conspiracy. Like I don't think this is just me. I don't think Oswald was involved at all. I think he was really a patsy and a CIA operative.
Just a pure patsy. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Regardless, the government has fully and out in the open admitted that there was a conspiracy behind his assassination.
And they said that there was more than one shooter.
Was it James Franco?
Yes. God, man.
On it.
Because I saw where he was there.
And he was ordered to do it by Stephen King.
That's the way it works. So that's our 10. That's our top 10 in no particular order, but yeah, take that order for what you will. A little more pedophilia than you probably were expecting.
Ironically, not more than we usually talk about on the show. It's weird. It's so strange.
It's weird that people from the outside brought it in. That's what's weird.
Some guests bring wine. I'm just saying.
Know your audience. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. What gift did you bring? I brought pedophilia.
How generous.
But did you bring enough for the rest of the class?
So now that we made your skin crawl, thank you.
Now
it's getting weird.
That was a really cool list, guys. That's going to be a fun one to go back and put up there, because sometimes I'll spoil the twist in the title, but you can't. There's no way you can spoil this twist, and they got to listen to the end on this episode to get that twist.
Well, and like we said, those are the only 10 conspiracies with the government. That's it. There's no others. So
no more. Yeah, that's a good
Not
point.
one.
not a single one out there. So
yeah,
we were thorough.
Well, I appreciate them coming and doing our last show, because we're not going to survive after tonight.
Yeah, no, that's a good point, because I think we dropped pedophilia, Trump, all the different conspiracies together.
Yeah, the lizards, the reptilians are going to take us out.
Yep.
I'm already on the list. You remember the Florida Panther I saw on I-95 the other day? We don't find them up here, but someone's after me.
Someone's got to get you.
Somebody ran me off the road this morning.
Did you tell him to get his ass back to the rink?
Could have been Hillary Clinton.
Isn't
too,
this a
so.
situation where we have to ask our guests if they're cops? They have to tell us, otherwise it's not going to be legal.
Yeah, live a little.
Oh, what, guys? I'm sorry, you're cutting out. I can't hear you. What?
Yeah, exactly. You're going through a tunnel.
All right, guys. Well, we appreciate that awesome list.
Hey,
So,
we appreciate it too. It was a blast.
Yeah, thanks for having us on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of
absolutely.
course. So, what kind of social media you guys got? Where can people find you?
Well, you can find us online pretty much all of social media. Just look for Hysteria51. You can find all of the links at hysteria51.com. And if you're new to the show, check us out on iTunes, but check out our Facebook discussion group. It's called Hysteria Nation. So just search Hysteria Nation. We'd love for, well, of course, all of you and then everyone listening at home to come join in on the chat. Involve yourself in the conversation. We can talk about this top 10 and a whole lot more.
And you can help me plan my Kevin Smith cosplay for later this year in my next Comic-Con I go to.
I just want to hear you talk about Batman all day long.
Now, your guys' show has very rapidly become one of my my go-to subscribed podcasts that I listen to when I'm shitting. But that's not the point. It's one of my favorite now. So.
My wife said to me recently, she's like, "Do you realize how many people probably only listen to you when they're taking a shit?" Like, I take pride in that, honey.
And you know what? I'm happy to be part of the festivities.
Hey, we love to hear that for real. Like, that is
better to be
fantastic.
listened to while you're shitting than have you shitting on the show. So
Yeah,
I'll take that.
That's true.
Ooh, that's a good idea. Mics in each one of our bathrooms.
That's our new T-shirt. So.
That's our new T-shirt. Yes, we podcast on the shitter.
The ideas are just flowing.
Some are kind of shitty ideas.
Yeah. Oh, here we go.
That is a studio I would not want to be in.
All right, guys. Well, cool. Well, we appreciate you stopping by. And if listeners out there want to get a hold of us, we are at thetwisted10@gmail.com. And you can also follow us on Twitter at thetwisted10.
Facebook, obviously facebook.com/thetwisted10. And check out the Dichotomy Media YouTube channel. That's our parent company that manages all of our podcasts. We put all of our shows out there on both audio, and sometimes we record special little videos and promotions, as well as cartoons that Tach does. That covers Twisted 10, Living Podcariously, the You're 40 Now What podcast, and the latest incarnation that Tach has been working on. That is our Get Out Penny animated series. About to release episode number 4 of that. So be sure to go check those things out. And again, any of our listeners that are looking for another one of those really cool podcasts to check out, be sure to check out Hysteria 51.
Hell yeah, indeed.
Thanks again, guys. We had a blast.
Indeed. It was a good time, man. I appreciate you guys doing this for us tonight.
Good show.
All right, so I'm Tach.
I'm Adam.
I'm Andrea Joy.
I'm Jay Alvarez.
And you guys are?
I'm Brent.
And I'm John.
All right, and we will see you next week. Wait. Don't hit stop on the episode just yet. Hey, this is Tach from the podcast you just listened to. And if you enjoy Living Podcariously or The Twisted 10, then you're going to love my new podcast I co-host with my lifelong buddy, Ron Caniff. It's called You're 40, Now What? It's about the trials and tribulations of turning 40 and just getting through life. So check it out on iTunes, Google Play Music, and anywhere you listen to podcasts. Thanks. Now go give someone a mouth hug.